Wow. So the news that we got recently regarding the magazines that have some of our all-time favorite series, Shonen Jump, home to Dragon Ball, fucking Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all of those ones. We got the sales on that, what it's doing right now. Weekly Shonen Magazine, home to Fairy Tail, Nanatsu no Taizai. We got the sales on that. And then Weekly Shonen Sunday, home to series like Magi, Detective Conan, and Keijo. We have the sales of that. And honestly, this was kind of eye-opening for me. I think this explains a lot of things as to why certain series pop off and certain series don't, why certain series get anime, certain series don't, and overall it's very eye-opening again for the fans that actually are curious as to how popular some of these magazines are and why certain series just don't get the recognition that they deserve. So let's read the article, and as we go along, we'll examine it and talk. Kodansha's Shonen Magazine circulation drops below 1 million. The Japanese Magazine Publishers Association reported on Wednesday that Kodansha's weekly Shonen magazine dipped in circulation below 1 million. The verified average circulation number for the July through September 2016 period stood at 995,017 copies. The manga magazine circulation fell by about 20,000 from the April to June period when it was at 1.015659 million. The average circulation number for the July through September period was about 1/4 of the magazine's record circulation of more than 4 million during 1997 and 1998. Circulation of Weekly Shonen Jump and Shugakugan's Weekly Shonen Sunday magazine also fell during the July through September 2016 period. Weekly Shonen Jump circulation fell by about 17,000 from the April to June period to 2.151 million. Weekly Shonen Sunday's circulation fell by about 40,000 to 330,000. The Japanese Magazine Publishers Association noted that each company is putting effort into digital publication, which may account for the part of the decrease in print circulation. And then we have a graph with some numbers, and damn, this is eye-opening. Again, you just see every single magazine is decreasing in numbers, like all of them. Every time a period of 3 months passes, we see a dip. So you look at the January through March of 2014, Weekly Shonen Magazine was doing 1.2 mil, Shonen Jump was doing 2.7, and Weekly Shonen Sunday was doing 461,000. And then you just keep seeing 20,000 drop, 30,000 drop. It's fucking crazy. It really showcases at the time of, physical distribution of magazines is definitely coming to a close, because especially Weekly Shonen Jump, that is the mother of it all. Weekly Shonen Jump is the big shebanga, and if that is dropping from 2014 to 2016, we've dropped 600,000 purchases. It's not averaging no more what it used to, and I think that's an eye-opener. I mean, you could argue regarding at the very least Shonen Jump's case is they're doing it to themselves, because if you look between 2014 and 2016, how many series they got rid of, it's fucking ridiculous. They've gotten rid of just everything that you could possibly want to read from Naruto's and Bleach. And don't get me wrong, it's not that they completely canceled some of the men, blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, from them getting rid of all those series, that can definitely account to why so many people are like, I don't fucking read any of the rest of that shit. Get out of here. I'm done with it. And I honestly could see in 2017 them dropping even further with them getting rid of series like, even though Kochikame wasn't necessarily a magazine pusher or whatever, you got rid of Kochikame. Bleach ended this year. You got Gintama getting ready to end. Toriko's ending. I could definitely see Jump's numbers dropping even further. Now again, since they are going digital now, they're pushing for, digital distribution, so that could account to why some of the sales are dropping, because people are like, why am I going to buy the physical copy when I'm getting the digital print or whatever? But that still is ridiculous. And it also showcases why majority of Jump series are a lot more popular than their other magazines, because for example, if a series comes out in Jump, they have bam, over 2 million, close to 3 million readers right there. Bam, over 2 million readers checking out this series, getting to know what it's about, a lot of that good stuff. Weekly Shonen Magazine or Weekly Shonen Sunday, especially Weekly Shonen Sunday, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but Fairy Tail and Taizai are two of the biggest pushers for Weekly Shonen Magazine, and their audience is now less than 1 million. Now, that's not to say about the volume sales, because it's kind of interesting that, especially with Weekly Shonen Sunday, some of the series that are actually in the magazine sell more copies of the volumes than the magazine itself. So that's definitely an interesting thing to note, but how are you going to promote stuff when the platform itself isn't even that big? Like, you look, for example, with One Piece sells more manga volumes than Jump sells magazines. Like, each volume of One Piece sells, what, 2, 3, 4 million copies? Shonen Jump is selling 2.1 on an average between a 3-month time span. So you got that One Piece is bigger than the magazine itself. You got that essentially, well, Fairy Tail and Sins, they sell okay. I don't think that they outdo their magazine or whatever, which is still a pretty good thing that at the very least the magazine has, you know, almost 1 million in interest. It's not that big of a drop, but I guess you consider the fact that, you know, in the late 90s or whatever, they were doing like 4 million. That showcases the times, and I think the internet definitely helped to damage the sales of stuff like magazines by a lot. Like, the internet is the biggest culprit regarding, you know, hey, fucking shit up, because now people are like, why the fuck I gotta look at the magazine? I'll just get the chapters online. Like, I'll hear about the news online. What the fuck am I gonna go buy a $5.99 or $9.99 magazine when I can get it for free? Which also trickles into other industries like the music industry, the movie industry, the anime industry, the, you know, actual manga industry and stuff like that. So that's not a big difference between other stuff. But let's talk about Weekly Shonen Sunday. My gosh. That is horrible. Like, their platform right now for launching shit is horrible. That's why series like, for example, you have Rumiko Takahashi, the creator of Inuyasha. She had so many hits even before Inuyasha, but, you know, she had some really big hits. Her latest series, Rin, is on its 3rd season of the anime, and honestly, in comparison to series like Inuyasha, no one gives a fuck. Inuyasha is arguably one of the most popular anime, especially from the early 2000s, mid-2000s in the West. Like, it was really huge, you know, it aired on Adult Swim, people loved it, and in general it was popular not only in, you know, the West, but also in Japan. Rin, 3 seasons of the anime in, and no one cares. Like, I see another season announced, I don't give a slither of a fuck. None of my viewers give a slither of a fuck. Nobody on Twitter gives a slither of a fuck. Just no one cares. And I think a big part of that is because Weekly Shonen Sunday doesn't have a big platform anymore. You know, you go back to the late 90s again, or early 2000s, and they were selling millions upon millions of copies, so there was millions of people, new readers, to check this shit out. Now, it's like, yeah, piracy is a huge issue, don't get me wrong, and it's like, you can't really account for how many people are actually reading it illegally. It's probably millions, probably the same amount of people or more are reading, they're just not buying the magazine anymore. But with this number, 330,000 on average now, Magi sells more volumes of Magi than that. So had Magi launched in a magazine like Shonen Jump, for example, having this giant platform of over 2 million readers, Magi would be way more humongous, and that's probably why a series like Magi never blew up, even though it had a big anime. You know, it had, what, 50 episodes in total of the Labyrinth of Magic and Kingdom of Magic, and still really didn't go nowhere because the source, the platform that's supposed to push it to the public, is not really that big. It's kind of like you comparing, you know, launching on prime time on, you know, the biggest network on TV to launching on fucking like some local channel or something like that. It's just not gonna help, and it's crazy to see how much of a lead Shonen Jump still has over the other magazines. It's basically double of what Weekly Shonen magazine is, and it's basically way too much over Shonen Sunday. Shonen Sunday, honestly, I could see within the next 5 years possibly even closing their doors, because 300,000, and also this could be a huge factor as to why a lot of the series that we love, the Bleaches, the Torikos, the Gintamas, are leaving. And what I mean by that is, take for example 6, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when all these series started up. I'm sure that the pay that these authors were getting, the contracts that they were getting, were insane. I'm sure they were getting just, here's a bag of money, make more Bleach. Yo, Soul Society just popped off, here's a giant bag of money, Kubo. We want you to have sex with that bag of money, bro. We love you. Stay here forever. You think 10 years pass, 15 years pass, they can still afford to pay this man that same big bag of money back when they were selling, you know, 5, 6, 7 million fucking subscriptions of Jump and stuff like that? You think they can do that? That's possibly a huge clue as to what's happening. They probably cannot afford to pay these people like Kubo, Kishimoto, the same money that they were making back in the day, and they're probably like, either A, you know, we can't pay you anymore, we're gonna have to stop your manga, or B, they're like, hey, we gotta give you a huge pay cut. And the manga's like, I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. You trying to drop me from like getting $1 million to getting like 200,000? Suck my balls. I'm out of here, bro. And that could explain what's happening. It could be the shrink in publication of Jump, Weekly Magazine, and Shonen Sunday why shit is going down like this, and it's fucking insane. So when you see series like Magi not exploding like it should, because Magi is a very high quality series, you kind of know why now. Its source is not that big. Let me know what you guys think about all this though. First of all, do you think that this could be a clue as to why all of our favorite series have been ending lately, the ones that have been around for like 10, 15 years? Could it be that these magazine publications just can't afford to pay these authors anymore? Maybe they had incredible deals back in the day, you know, when their manga were popping. You come 10 or 15 years later, they just can't afford to pay them. The same thing's happening in the music industry. A lot of groups, I don't know, G-Unit or whatever, they couldn't, Interscope Records couldn't afford to continue giving them giant bags of money that they gave them back in 2004. Okay, we got to drop you off the label. We can't do this no more. And that's probably what's happening as well. And do you foresee at some given point in the future, a lot of these magazines just going 100% straight digital because of this? Do you see Weekly Shonen Sunday just saying, you know what, we're starting to slowly go digital. Maybe in 5 years they'll completely be gone and it'll just be Jump and Weekly Shonen Magazine. And overall thoughts of all this, again, it's crazy, it's eye-opening, and it showcases the platforms and where they're at right now. And it sucks that one day all three of these could really be gone. 10 more years, who knows how bad these sales will be. And it's sad because this is, you know, where it all began and it could all end. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm Neverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. Again, this news, it's crazy.